this is going to be very interesting. Well, there's always an asterisk with that. Bli neder, right? Without, I'm not making a vow that it's going to be interesting, but we're going to jump around a little bit in our discussion, because this is a very, let's just say, detailed Torah portion. There's a lot of detail. So here's what I'm going to do. I got my handy dandy sheet up here. But first, why don't we begin with a little blessing over some study? La'asok b'divrei Torah, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Amen. Oh, that just reminded me of something. I'm going to give a little plug first. So we're doing our first... So, we've been doing the Taste of Shabbat at 5:30. I don't know if any of you have seen that or heard it. We've been doing the 5:30 Taste of Shabbat. Well, we're going to be trying something new today, where we're going to be doing Instagram Live. If you have Instagram, you can jump on with us at Instagram Live at Wilshire Boulevard Temple on Instagram. And I'm going to be doing something live. So we don't know where that's going to go. I'm very, I'm excited. A little nervous, but at 5:30 Wilshire Boulevard Temple on Instagram, I'll be going live. You can check it out. I'm not sure if I'm sharing it on Facebook too, but
I'm not sure how to do that, but I have Instagram.
It's a very good question.
You all you have to do is follow Wilshire Boulevard Temple, and it'll come up. The one that Joel and Lisa did the other day was very cool on Monday.
Oh, cool.
Mine will not be so cool, but it will be something. All right, here we go. We're gonna jump in over here. I want to share my screen.
Adar, the third day of Adar, 5782.
Here we go. All right, can everybody see this? And you can see that I
bigger.
Make it bigger?
A little bit bigger, yeah.
All right, I'll make it bigger.
Cool.
How's that?
That's good.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to start. This is a Terumah, right, where we're going to be giving these offerings here. And as you can see, I've left some space between the next text, because I don't want us to get into the next text just yet, because it's very kind of interesting here. Let's take a look at what this says. This is how it opens, right? The Lord spoke to Moses, say, okay, let's just back up. What's going on right now? Where are we? Where are we in the Torah, in the story right now? What's going on? Anybody know? Here comes Marv. So, Risa, you got an idea?
We're going to finish building the tabernacle and put everything inside. And
we actually haven't finished building. We're not going to finish building it for a while.
Well,
this is now just what's happening is Moses is hanging up already now with God, right? The people have been like, where's this guy been? But Moses is getting all this fabulous instructions, right? The detail, exhausting detail of how to build the Mishkan, which is the tabernacle, which is another also named, because I don't know, tabernacle for a traveling sanctuary, right? It's like a traveling sanctuary, but let's not even get there yet. I want to take a look first. This here, the Lord spoke to Moses saying, tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts for me from every person whose heart so moves him. You or her or them, tell the Israelite people. The Lord spoke to Moses saying, tell the Israelite people, bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts for me from every person whose heart so moves him or her. So boom, stop the share. Let's just on a surface level, what's it saying here? What's going on? What is going on here? Who could tell me? What's going on here? Safta, Bakasha, Pnina.
All right.
But first, don't go beyond the scope just yet.
Okay.
Bakasha.
Okay. Well, number one, it's a groundbreaking for giving tzedakah. So that's a beginning. Number two is he's making them a part of it. He wants them to participate. And the way that they feel participation in the beginning, I don't know if they had resources as far as wood or materials. I think mostly materials available to actually build it, but he's making them a part of it.
Okay, time out. This is interesting because I say like tzedakah, the giving of tzedakah, that's a mitzvah, right? That's a commandment. You have to do that, okay? Right. Making you a part of it in the building, there's something very unique here, right? Because what could have happened would have been like, all right, like, you know how we do it, that later on when we're doing a census and counting of the people, says everybody's got to give this much, no little, no less, no more, no less. Everybody's got to give this chetzi shekel, 50 cents. Everybody's got to give it, no more, no less. Commandment, boom. Tzedakah, he's in opening up an introduction to tzedakah. And this is also interesting, right? That's a commandment. That's a have to. What's the difference between a have to and what's going on here? This is what's really interesting here. What's the difference between a have to and what's going on here? Doug, what you got?
This is really interesting because, you know, according to Maimonides' 10 levels of charity, you know, this was supposed to be a number 10, but now we are supposed to give number 1 through 9. It doesn't make any difference. So he's asking the Israelite people, only those people who want to give. So in other words, you better darn well want to give because God's going to hear you if you don't want to give.
Oh, so, okay. Well, this is fascinating. I don't know how. No. So what you're saying is like, yeah, it's almost like this. Rather than just reading it like the Lord spoke to Moses telling the people, tell the Israelite people, bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts for me from every person whose heart so moves them. Versus, tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. You shall tell they bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts from me from every person whose heart so moves him. I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse, right? Sort of like that. Is that what you're saying, Doug? Is that what you're saying? That it's not really about moving as a people, but this is a have to. I got my second graders here.
Well, it's unfortunate that God wants only the people who want to give, because that's not human nature. I mean, they left Egypt with the shirts on their back, supposedly, and I don't know how they got all this gold and jewels and all the other stuff. But now God wants them, just give me the gift. Give me it.
Okay, this is really interesting. He says not human nature. All right, hold on. Time out. Gary, I'm going to put you on the spot, my friend. I'm putting Gary on the spot. Okay. You know, Gary is a very, very successful development director, fundraiser. And so Gary, I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot. Sorry, not sorry, because if I was really sorry, I would do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Gary, can you talk a little bit about your experience in giving, in people's willingness, desire, want versus a feeling of commandedness, have to, like, and speak to this idea of human nature?
I would say that most people give because they believe in the cause they're giving to, and it makes them feel good to do good in the world. I don't think people look at it as a commandment, or there's a mitzvah, there's a good deed, but not as a commandment.
So already they're not even defining a mitzvah correctly, right? The good deed. All good deeds are mitzvot, but not all mitzvot are good deeds. Interesting. So this is like commanded, though maybe, like, if maybe God's saying, I only want people involved who want to be involved, but that's really only for this. I only want people involved who want to be involved, but that's only, okay, time out. I see hands everywhere. All right, I'm just going to go around on my screen. Merlot, you're up first.
Okay, so I think that it's like important to differentiate, like maybe through the idea of like Christmas presents, because that's something that like you kind of feel like you have to give. Like it's kind of in that way where it's like if you don't, it's not that great. But at the same time, once you're like doing something where there's like a fundraising thing involved or there's a gift that doesn't have to be there, it adds meaning. And in this sense, it kind of just like empowers the movement of like giving the gifts and like what the meaning is, because it's not like just giving a gift blindly in a way.
Beautiful. It is like the chidur mitzvah, beautification of the mitzvah. Fascinating. I love that, Merlot. Thank you. All right, I'm going around. Let's see. Phyllis, hook us up.
So I was in fundraising for a long time too, and one of the important things is to build long-term relationships with people. So you're not just asking them for money and then ignoring them. And I see this as building relationship.
It said like he's doing it too fast. How is this building relationship?
Well, I think that people are there was not a good relationship up until now. And there had to be some way to start that relationship over again.
Yeah, but Phyllis, I'm going to cut you off for a second because I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you know what's going to happen in the next, not this next Parshat, because the Parshat after this week is, still more detail, but in 2 weeks, what happens while Moses is still hanging up in the mountain?
They built a golden calf.
Boom, we got golden calf. Talk to me about relationship. These people are freaking out because they don't have that relationship yet all of a sudden they're going to be asked to give what their heart moves them. Is it out of love? Is it out of fear? Is it out of, I don't know, because sooner, right? But we're going to be, so keep going with your thought.
Well, it seems to me that building the tabernacle is a way for the people to connect.
Oh,
so that
beautiful. I like that.
They're
That's interesting.
Going to be participating in, I see it as a creation of a relationship where they haven't had anything concrete. It's all been kind of clouds and,
pillars of fire and
and they're actually building something concrete. So I see it as working towards creating a relationship.
Fascinating. But what's the first thing that they're going to build that's concrete?
Mishkan.
No.
The
relationships.
No.
The ark.
No.
No.
What did they build before the ark?
The golden calf.
Boom, golden calf. Who said that? Where are you?
Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah said it.
Where's Hannah?
But the Mishkan, but chronologically, the Mishkan comes before the golden calf.
The instructions for the Mishkan come before the golden calf.
Oh.
The instructions. See, that's the thing. And you know what, though, Miriam, you're absolutely right, because it wasn't upon a little bit more of a deeper reading, right? You see that this is just happening between God and Moses. All of these next two Parshiot is just God and Moses going over all the details. Like, I got it. Okay, I got it. All right, I got it. All right, I gotta go tell them. No. Okay, I got it. Oh, 50 cubits. Oh, and this side, and we got the cherubims over here. Okay, I got it. Details. The people, they don't build that yet. The first thing that they build is the golden calf when they're left to their own devices.
Oh, okay. I have a question. May I?
Well, hold on, Miriam. You can't skip the line.
No, I
Not
won't.
Israel. This is
I want
not
you to know
Israel where all the
my hand is up. I'm willing to wait. My hand is up.
I know it's there. It's like this is like the grandmother's getting on the bus in Israel. Get away from me. I'm getting on the bus.
That's me.
Like this. All right, we're going around. Donna, go ahead. I got you, Miriam. Don't worry, I did not forget you.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Rabbi. I think intention is everything, but the seraphim, building of the ark, everything, it's community. It's bringing people together to make a memory of something sacred, a place for God to dwell, to bring the people together to worship. And
all right, we're gonna get somewhere with that, but the gold building the golden calf, that was
no, that was like left to your own devices. That's not good. You froze up, Rabbi.
Rabbi Eshel seems to have disappeared for a moment.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the rabbi has frozen.
That was a good book.
Frozen chosen.
That was a good book. The rabbi has frozen.
He just logged off. He's going to log back on, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, do you think they used the golden calf remelted down for the tabernacle?
You mean, was that their gift?
Yeah, I mean, they already gave that much gold.
Wait, you guys, do you realize I have not been here for the last minute?
Yes.
You're all, I love this.
Yeah.
We just went on.
I am now
doing quite well.
I'm just gonna be an observer now.
We're
Go ahead.
still analyzing.
All right, what I missed? Wait.
Well,
Miriam.
the question is, David, very simply.
Oh, really? Why am I not surprised? Thank you, Risa.
Why did they melt down the golden calf in order to give their gifts?
No, because they drank it.
They drank the gold.
Drank the gold.
Yes.
Well, so all right. So in 2 weeks, you are in for a treat. You all didn't know that, huh?
I don't think I absorbed
it. It was their punishment, part of their punishment.
They melted down the golden calf and made everybody drink it. We never talk about that. Just like we never talk about the end of the
Never heard
What
of that.
commentary is
sorry.
that in?
It's not in the commentary. It says it in the text. Miriam, you're up.
Thank you. A couple of things. One is I'm paying very much attention to the very first line of the Parshat when it says, children, and let them take from me a portion. Then it says, from every man, it doesn't say every man or woman, it says from every man whose heart motivates him, you shall take my portion. I never paid so much attention to that as I am today. Why? Because then God goes into huge detail of how to make the Mishkan. Of how to make the Mishkan. You put exactly these many rods. The curtain looks like this. The gold goes here. The wood goes here. A special kind of wood. Yes, no, east, north, south. He goes into huge detail. But all those people whose hearts were not motivated are out of it. Well, they don't have to do it. That's my first comment. My second question, I don't think you can ask right now, and I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I never knew that giving tzedakah was a commandment. I always thought it was kind of left up to you. So I need, yes, I see that I'm wrong. I need to see in the Tanakh. It would be important to me, and I'm not taking any class time for this. It would be important for me to see exactly how God phrases giving tzedakah.
Oh, I'm going to write that down. That would be an interesting class on its own.
Yes, I would like very much to know it. And I use it a great deal as president of my Hadassah group. We talk a great deal about giving stuff.
I love that. I'm writing that down right
now.
The
whole Hadassah hospital, which is given so much to the entire world, would not be in existence if it weren't for tzedakah. That's how it lives.
I love it.
And my third question is, the name of this chapter is Terumah.
Mm-hmm.
I find in the word Terumah the shoresh of laharim, to lift up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it says more than just give, but giving not only lifts up the person who is getting it and lifts them sometimes from dire straits
Beautiful.
to living, literally living. What about the person who gives it?
Beautiful.
Aren't they lifted up as much?
God is giving them the opportunity to succeed here. God is giving them the
Exactly, and to
opportunity
lift
to lift up
themselves-
themselves up. That's
And to lift
beautiful.
themselves out of themselves.
I love it.
A lot of people wake up in the morning, they start with themselves, they end with themselves, and they don't give themselves a chance to leave themselves.
And then it goes into, here we get ready for this. I'm going to share my screen. Like you said, it goes into all this detail. Boom, 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 boom. Sharing the share button. Hold on, here it is. Look at this. It says, I want that moves you, gives them the gifts that moves you. And these are the gifts that I want from you. All right, you give me gifts. Give me gifts, things that move you, that anyone who moves. But here are the specific gifts that I need, right? The gifts that you shall accept from them: gold and silver and copper, blue, purple, crimson yarns, fine linens, goat's hair, tanned ram skins, dolphin skins. I don't know about that one. Dolphin skins, acacia wood, oil for lighting, spices for the anointing oil and for the aromatic incense, lapis lazuli, and other stones for setting for the ephod and for the breastplate. But okay, give me gifts, but here are the very specific gifts that I need and want. All right, now check. Here's the next thing I'm going to talk about. Or actually, I'm going to ask somebody else to talk about. Risa, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, Risa.
Yes.
Besides being just like a fabulous contributor to our Parshat HaShavuah, for years has managed, been volunteers, working with the women of Reform Judaism, working with Chaverot, working with the volunteers of all the different communities that she's lived in and worked in, and basically like the lay leader of the lay leaders, if you will. Is that
That's
fair?
a little exaggeration, but I like it. Go ahead.
It's not much of a, I don't think it's an exaggeration.
Not an exaggeration.
It's not an exaggeration.
Works.
It's not an exaggeration, but talk about when the lay leaders, they want to give and they want to do, but then how do the professionals, God here, Moses here, say, yes, we want you to, you're giving of your heart, because the lay leaders, right, are the ones who give the gifts for their hearts that move them, their time that moves them, right, to do that. But then being told, but it has to be this, and this. What can you talk about what that is like? Being told, thank you, but this is what you need to do. I want you to give of your time, but it has to be like this.
That's a hard one. Each
I have
person.
a perfect example.
Keep going, Risa. Keep going.
Each person according to his or her ability. You have to know the person with whom you are speaking, what their interests are, what their skills are, what they think about the project, and what they think about themselves as part of the project.
Okay.
And that's the only way. And we always say it has to be a personal ask. So a big ask like this doesn't produce what an individual ask does.
So are you saying that Moses should go to every individual?
It has to be an individual ask. It doesn't have to be Moses all the time. He can have a committee.
Oh, he doesn't work from committee. Oh, yes. Thank you, his father-in-law.
His father, you're
hooked
right.
me up with this committee idea. I love it.
That's what we do, though. We involve the people who have given, and you can't ask until you've given.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
All right. So now I'm gonna go Merle and then Safta.
So when I was volunteered manager, director of several different places, as well as writing material on volunteer management. What I created was the fact, and this goes with what Risa said, people have to want to give whatever they're giving, whether it's financial or personally, or, however they're volunteering. But we interviewed every single person on their membership application. We would ask them what they want to do for the congregation or the group. And we interviewed them as to where will what you say you want to do, can do, whether it's personally, financially, however it all fits together. What is it that you want to do so that I can't think of the right words right now, but how is it that you want to do this to make it right for you as well as for the community? Whether it's a congregation or an agency, I mean, it all goes together.
Yeah, this is okay. This made me think of something else. I like this.
But then another really quick piece of this is, as you know, we changed congregations, and there was a lot of issues as to certain families and why they left and whatever. But somebody at that congregation said to me, "Why do you give so much money to your other temple," meaning Wilshire, and to the temple that you just joined, and to the Komen 3-day, for breast cancer?
And
I looked at him and I said, because those are my choices. And those are the things that I'm committed to and that I love. Who are you to question how much money I'm giving to whatever organization I'm giving it to?
You tell him, baby.
And that was a piece of part of why we left, to be honest with you.
That's also why we teach children to give. The best way is when you're writing checks to organizations, you do it sitting at the dining room table with your children around you and explain why you're giving to those organizations. So that they're involved also in the family giving, and they understand and grow up to choose the same way your family is choosing. And sometimes the kids take over a particular project that they're interested in. Right now, I have a grandchild who believes that the most important thing is the World Wildlife Animal thing, Worldwide Animals, whatever it is.
WWF.
Yeah, she insists that the family gives to that as well. So and her voice is heard. So that's it. You get them young.
Oh, it's lifting them up, like Miriam was saying. Voices heard, choice inspiring, and we still need Gary and Phyllis be able to tell us we still need the tachlis money and able to do the other things as well. So maybe it's both. It's not just, we don't want just your money, but we want your heart and your time and your so fabulous. Good.
Your neshama. We want your neshama.
Yeah, and the word is commitment.
The word is commitment.
Right. And you're right, Risa. We teach them very young to do that.
Safta, you're up.
A question, Rabbi?
Hold on, Donna. Hold on. I'm giving Safta the floor. She's been waiting patiently.
Okay. What you said about giving your neshama, this is actually what's happening here. He knew exactly who they are. He's telling everybody to give according to what his heart tells him to give. In other words, that person who gives is what his heart telling him it's going to go for. So what is it that they're using? They're using stuff that they brought from Egypt, that the Egyptian give them just to tell them, get out of here, just go take here, and they gave him. What these things that they were given were used to build their idols. Or they used to decorate the Pharaoh himself as a god. So he's giving them the same tools that the Egyptians actually used, but this time he wants them, that their heart should tell them to build something else, another commitment. And they didn't. They went back to the golden calf. So here is why it says, Asher idvenu libo. It's what your heart is telling you. And it was kind of like a test also.
So this is so interesting. It goes back directly to what Phyllis said about where is the relationship? What is the sweat equity that you put into before the actual building? And it's that sweat equity that will decide what direction the people will go. Will they do will they, because of the relationship, will they want to build a golden calf, or because of the relationship, will their heart move them to build the Mishkan and the actual Ark of the covenant, right? Both using the same exact, what's the word? Chomer. It's the
materials.
The exact material. It's the same material, right? That gold itself, the gold itself, and then maybe, you know, we can extrapolate out to money itself does not have morality itself, right? It's what we do with it. Okay, right. Hold on. I gotta get around here. There've been people waiting fabulously patiently. I'm gonna go Gary. I'm gonna go Phyllis and Warren. I'm not sure who wants to speak, if it's Phyllis or Warren. And then I got Merle. So Gary, Phyllis, Warren, Merle. Go ahead, Gary.
So the only thing I wanted to add to the conversation is that younger people under the age of, say, 40 are looking to have more impact in their giving. So one of the questions I always ask a donor like a Merrill who donates to 3 or 4 different places is, how is the impact of your gift doing the good work that you want it to do? Make sure that it matches up with your values and is performing well. And I would obviously say the gift to Wilshire Boulevard Temple performs well.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary. Phyllis, Warren.
So I just wanted to say, you mentioned the dolphins.
Yeah.
There are actually dolphins in the Nile, and their skins are waterproof.
Wow. That's, you know what? I remember seeing a fabulous like documentary on that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Warren, you're very quiet today.
I was going to say the same thing. She beat me to it.
Okay. Merle, you're up.
So along with what Gary said, you know, I'm using Wilshire and Camps and even Karsh as an example, that when we make donations, especially, you know, if you use those old envelopes, or if you do it online, you're given choices as to where you want to donate within that particular culture. And by being given choices, you're choosing a place within that organization for where you feel the money will do the most good.
Beautiful. Thank you. Pam or Pamela, what would you prefer?
Either way is fine. Both
Okay.
work.
Pam, you're up.
Okay. So my thought on the list and why there's a list sort of reminded me of when, like, they do back to school supply drives for kids.
Say that again.
When they do back to school supplies for kids.
Yes.
Right?
Good one.
So
Beautiful.
It says, all right, you want to help.
Yeah.
Here's where the need is.
Here's where the need is.
Pick among
Great.
these items.
Great.
This is where the need is, because you don't always know, right?
Mhm.
Like, if I don't have a school-age kid, I don't know what the right thing to get an 8-year-old is.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it's just kind of saying, if your heart moves you, then do this. I also think it's interesting that, going back a step, because I didn't speak then, but the thought about, it's almost like the anti-proselytizing thing that we don't do as Jews. If your heart moves you, you can be a part of this. But if it doesn't speak to you, it's fine. Go, you do you, we'll do us, you know. If it moves you, then it's also a way of bringing the whole process, like, God into you, not just in this like thing that you're going to build, but if it moves you, then you're also building it within your own heart.
Yes. Let's say yes. I totally agree with you 100%. And not but, and this is really like the only time we see this. All the other times is, you better do this, otherwise, right? These are the mitzvot, these are the rules. If you do though, if you don't, actually, I take that back. As I'm saying, I'm lying. It's like, it's more goes back to like what Doug was saying. It's like, here's an offer. I'm going to make you an offer. You can't refuse. But that it's like, if you do this, these things are going to happen. But if you do this, these things are going to happen.
But going back to what she was saying before about the community and the relationship.
Yeah.
If you want to be part of this community, it's your choice. Then when you are part of the community,
Okay.
these are the rules.
Okay. You know what? That's really beautiful. I like that. And it actually connects. I think I share this midrash with with this crew before. You know, the ending of before the Israelites left with the final plague, the death of the firstborn, and they had to put the lamb's blood on their door so the angel of death would pass over their house and know it's not an Israelite. But that was like their opt-in moment as well, right? Because the Midrash says that many Israelites died that night because not that they didn't opt in, but they didn't do anything about it, right? All of the other plagues, they were just passive observers, things happening to the Egyptians. But then it was like, all right, here we go. This is you want to go with us. You need to put this thing on your door. If you don't put the thing on your door, you're not coming, like, because you're. So this is interesting. I like this connection. This is very good. This is good. Do I see it? Did I see it? Donna, go ahead.
I want to say that Wilshire Boulevard Temple is the most giving, generous temple. I was playing piano in Beverly Hills. I told Rabbi Leader, and Lily Bossy brought, even the fire department came out on Rodale Drive waving at me. I live in the hood, wear $9 dresses. I have a piano today. I wrote a Russian ballet sonata to bring peace. And I don't know who to talk to about it, but when this pandemic's over, I'm going to get together with Risa and we're going to talk about music and what we can do to raise money for the temple, because I don't want to talk. I just want to play the piano.
You've always wanted to just play the piano. You've always wanted to play. I know you like playing piano. All right. This is fabulous.
I don't know how to read the notes or write them down, but I just write a song in 5 minutes. Hundreds of them.
So here we go. I love that. Here we go. We're going to move on now. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite lines, and Safta's going to help me with this. This is one of my favorite lines in all of Torah, and especially in this Torah portion. I'm going to share the screen again for you to see.
You can sing, Rabbi.
To put it on the screen. Here it is in the screen. It is very famous line here. And let them make me, with all this fabulous stuff, let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. V'asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Safta, don't give anything away yet. You know where I'm going. Just don't give it away yet. I know you want to, but don't give it away yet. V'asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. All right, what's going on here? Just on the surface level, what is this saying? Just on the surface, and then we're going to break it down. Merle, go ahead.
That you're building a sanctuary for yourselves, but I want to be a part of you.
Oh, okay.
I may not be able to be seen, but I want to be there.
But okay, but then the question is, why? What if God's already out there? We see God is in the example of the pillar of fire and the pillar of smoke. We say, our nursery school kids will tell us, but God is everywhere. God is in our hearts. God is everywhere. So why do they have to build a sanctuary? Make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. Who's the sanctuary for? Why do they need it?
For everyone in that community, all parts of your family, your community, and that it's more inclusive.
Okay.
To be a part of something. And we know that God is everywhere, but when we're in a place that is sacred to all of us, God is more a part of it.
Okay.
And maybe those four walls, might make you feel more included with God's world.
But this is fascinating. Okay. So what's different is not God, but it's the people. It's not God, but it's the people. Go, Pam.
I was just, what occurred to me was that it's very much like any meditation, which is that you need a focus. The mind will wander, the mind will run off, the mind will, in a couple of chapters, build a golden calf. But if you have a focus, then it helps.
Beautiful.
God present. So you need the visual, just keep it Like
beautiful. So it is not about God as much as it is for the people. This is it's the tool that is going to help them focus. It's going to help give them a different perspective, both internally, externally. Like this is fabulous, fantastic. And okay, Safta, go ahead, check it out.
But he emphasizes he's going to be within them, but he is the Holy One. He is the one to be worshipped, not anything else, not the building, not the construction, but the idea that he is in each. That's the holy part going to be.
Beautiful. So it's like Pam was saying, it's there to help to focus us, but to focus us on the right thing.
He also he's showing that he's superior to them, that their lives are going to be subject to him. He's going to be the one who is going to be still the holy thing, not the idols anymore.
So this is an interesting point.
It's going to be superior force, which is him. And that's
the difference. So what's the difference between using the gold to build a calf to worship God versus using the gold to build a mishkan to worship God? What's the difference?
That the calf itself was the God.
Okay. The calf itself was the God. It was limited. It was very limiting versus this, which is really expansive.
I'm going to be a part of you. You can't see me.
Yes, good. So
There's
I want to
idol
get to that in a
involved.
second. Get to there in a second. So it's this idea, right? With these four walls are there to really help us allow God, because
feel the presence of God, but not see him or feel him or build him.
Because the way this is, and here I'm about to tell you why this is one of my favorite lines here, right? Because the way that it's translated always says, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. V'shachanti betocham. But another way to translate v'shachanti betocham is to dwell within them. Betoch means inside, to dwell within them. So I need this space. We build these four walls to actually transport us. Right? We have these four walls that are actually there to transport us and to be open to the possibility for God to dwell within us, right? Whether it's like our yoga, whether it's like our focus, whatever it is, it's opening us up.
He wants them to create another reality.
It's creating an multiverse. It's a multiverse. A little Marvel in there, but yes, it's a right? That this is creating that opportunity, and it's very much like in the choreography of the Amidah, one of the prayers in our services, right? There's a choreography in there where we take 3 steps back and 3 steps forward, right? When we say Adonai sefatatitach ufi yagitehilatecha, right? We back. It's as if we are leaving the corporeal world. We're leaving the regular day and we're entering into our own personal mishkan, our own personal space with God. And then at the end, when we say Oseh Shalom v'merubav, u'yaseh Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael ve'emru amen. When we walk back again as if we're leaving that special space and walking back into the corporeal world. And that's why it's my favorite. Pam, go.
So just to contradict myself a little bit, an extra, but I'm thinking, so my thought was, all right, well, it's a focus, but why couldn't the golden calf also be a focus? Let's juxtapose, for me, how do you juxtapose why the golden calf itself couldn't be a focus and not necessarily God, right? Why isn't it just a focus? Why isn't it just, space or whatever it is, as opposed to.
So that's the great question, right? That's one of the things is because in the form that it takes, right? But it's a fabulous question. It's a fabulous question because it's in the form that it takes, it limits one's potential understanding or connection to God if it's in that form versus the Mishkan, which was more elaborate, not necessarily like animals, but there were those cherubs in there, and the intention is different. and it goes to the same argument. Get ready for this. This is about the same argument is like when people walk around with the Torah and we kiss it, is like sometimes people look at it as like, that's idolatry. What are you doing? What are you kissing this thing for? What? Oh, this is God. This is a thing. Or I've heard the same argument with the Kotel or the Western Wall. It's like, why is everybody fighting over this stone? Why it's idolatry to fight over this stone, right? I've heard that argument. Right, so it's very interesting. It's almost like somebody made the argument. It's very similar. It's like, no, I eat bacon. I eat bacon. Why? Because it reminds me that I'm Jewish. You tell me I can't. I'm eating this, and it makes me think. If the point of kosher and the laws is to make you think about everything that you're putting into your body, think about your connection to your people, to God, to your history, to your present, to your future, to tradition, and and this person said to me, when I eat bacon, it's the same thing. I was like, ugh. And even worse, they go to this restaurant downtown where they eat bacon wrapped matzo balls. Bacon wrapped matzo balls, how cuckoo is that? Right? But so it's fascinating. It's like, what are you using to give you that? Wow, look at me. I just made the connection. Bacon wrapped matzo balls, golden calf, Mishkan Kotel, all in the same sentence. Look at me. That's crazy.
May I say something, Rabbi, about
I'm going to go. Oh, Safta is shaking her head at me. I'm going to go Safta, then Dona. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So the idea is that it tells them to build an ark, like a closet, something to store things, not the thing itself. And then he says, I'm going to dwell among you. In other words, I really don't need this
God doesn't need this stuff.
This closet.
God doesn't need this stuff.
I'm going to be anyhow within you. and the
God's having a coming out party.
The calf was a symbol again of Egyptian worship. Part of the Egyptian worship. Why would they build a calf? They could have built a lion or a cat or something. But that was one of their symbols of worshiping. That's what they knew. So you have to look at what he's really telling them. He's giving him stages. Okay, now you got the ark, but that ark is going to be empty, right? Because I'm going to be inside you. And then they go back to the ways that the Egyptians did it. So it showed them they weren't ready. So they had to be punished like little kids to understand that what they did was wrong. That's when Korach and his people went kaput.
That's coming up again later.
I differ with you. I don't mean to take Donna's turn. I think she's next. But I just wanted to say, I don't think he built the ark for himself. I don't think it had anything to do with worship. He built the ark to save the humanity that was worth saving. The other he destroyed, and he built it for the future saving. Whereas the golden calf was built because people had such doubt and they needed something concrete in front of them.
Why did he say an ark? Why did he say an ark, which actually in Hebrew is translated into
closet?
How do you Aron? It's what
closet.
You clothes in. Yeah, like a closet.
Yes.
Why would he choose this? An empty thing, so he can be the one, the spirit should be there. He didn't tell him to put something in it yet.
Well, yeah, it says the next line is, and deposit in the ark, the tablets, which I'm going to give. That's because really that's where it's supposed to. The same way that we keep the Torah in the ark.
There we go.
You put the tablets, and you're going to put and eventually, right? Because it says you're going to deposit the tablets in the pact of which I'm going to give you, but you're going to use both. It doesn't say that yet because it hasn't happened. Right. But you're going to have the broken ones and the good ones.
Paving the way. It's like
paving the way. However,
stages.
But it goes back to what Moses was up in this forever, and these people are like, "What did this guy? He took us out of Egypt." I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but he's just saying, "This guy took us out of Egypt, and we're freaking out." That's not fair. That's not relationship building. The same, like what Phyllis was saying. How are you going to expect us to follow all this stuff if you take us out of Egypt? Moses disappears for we don't know how long. We don't even know where he went. He's talking up there, talking to God, whatever. He's gone. We're freaking out. We've never experienced freedom before. We don't even know what to do. We don't know how to take care of ourselves. I'm going to put this pacifier gold cow. I'm going to make this gold calf. It's a pacifier. And then you said they were punished like children, but they were like newborns. Give them the opportunity. You didn't build that relationship yet, like Phyllis said. So it's very interesting. And I'm going to get back to this other point, this idea that maybe some of you can relate to this. This is fascinating.
What are we storing into this closet today? This is what's important. We're putting the 10 Commandments there. We're putting the Torah, all the teachings. It's teachings. This is it, books.
But what is an Aron and the other is a Teva? And there are different things.
Teva is like a box that
but the Aron is where we store the 10.
But irrelevant because we don't leave them in there. The way to use them is you have to take it out, open it up, get busy with it, like it says in our blessing, right? To get busy with it. But this was also really one of the fascinating things, is things where it says, earlier when we talked about whose heart so moves them, and we talked about intention, and if you're doing it when your heart so moves you, you're going to be so much more invested. This is a classic idea when we talk about, and one of my challenges, and it's been a challenge in the Jewish, especially in the Reform movement for generations. How do you keep your kids engaged after bar and bat mitzvah, right? If they come to religious school, it's like, okay, you have to. And it's like, oh, yeah, you have to. I didn't like it. My grandfather didn't like it. And you won't like it. And you will like it for not liking it, right? But then the kids, when you see this drop off of participation, which is so bananas and sad to me, because then when you go to youth group, like the 8th grade program and up, right, they may be a smaller group, but they are so much more dedicated.
Send them to Israel for the
and
they come back loving it.
Nachon, so decade. But this is this idea, why is the youth group why do they love it so much? Is because now it's a choice of their own. They're invested, they're putting their own hearts. They're not being commanded by their grown-ups in one sense or another, but now they're making that choice for themselves, right? And it kind of goes back to like what Risa was saying about having your children with you as you're signing the checks, right? You're going to make it kind of something important and personal for them once they start taking ownership of it. And it's this fascinating thing that you see the attitudes of the kids completely switch when they're in either youth group or religious school, when it's their choice. But I'm not advocating to give kids their choice, because they're still kids. We are still the grown-ups. We still have to create and give them these opportunities, right? That's my philosophy anyway.
Rabbi Mr. Adam Sandler did a great job with the Hanukkah song, making it very interesting for the children to want to celebrate Hanukkah and be proud to be Jewish. I just love his song. I met him. He's a nice man. But I wanted to talk about the golden calf. I think I'm talking about that.
Adam Sandler, lovely human being. Let's talk about the golden calf.
The golden calf is a mineral, like you said, the wall. It's a wall. God's Adar means name. My name is holy. God will have no other God before him. He wants us to worship only him. And that tabernacle is for community, for him to dwell with amongst us. He's with us. And miracles happen. And we have to see this, even in this world where there's horrible anti-Semitism. If people will be bold and stand up and sing, I believe the angels will come down. It'll be like with Moses and David, and people are going to be scared to piss us off. I really believe it. Oh, through a love song. But listen, Rabbi, not to be afraid anymore, because that's exactly what Hitler wanted, and I refuse to be afraid to say I'm a Jew. I am so proud to be a Jew that I'm never going to be afraid. And then I want
good.
So a love song, show people not to hate, bring people together, not to hate.
Beautiful, Donna. And it all ends with this idea, right? That we will bring gifts, all of us, right? Bring gifts from everyone whose heart shall move them. So with that,
thank you.
Wish everybody a big Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Shabbat Shalom.
Again, we're going to be doing our first Instagram Live. I'm doing an Instagram Live today at 5:30. So at Wilshire Boulevard Temple, or whatever that handle is. Who knows what's going to come out of my mouth? I don't know. I don't know.
Rabbi
I kind
Eshel,
of have an
know.
idea, but I'm a
Rabbi
little nervous.
Eshel, if you're not
Yes.
running off, I want to impose upon you. Can I
Yes.
ask you a question after the class is over?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. I
Love
don't
you
want to take.
both.
I don't want to take the class
Shabbat
time.
shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom,
shalom.
everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom,
Thanks, David.
Bye,
It was
Thank
Pamela.
you,
it was fun.
everybody.
Bye,
Thank you
Lisa.
for your
Bye.
insight.